Well, good afternoon everyone. Welcome back to a brand new Tenerife and Canary Islands news update. It's been a while since we did one of these, so it is a little bit overdue, and we are so busy. There's a few things going on that I want to discuss and tell you all about, and you can let me know your opinions as well down in the comments. So if you are new to the channel, I am Andrew. I do live here in Los Cristianos in Tenerife. I deal with tourists all day long, whether it be in the daytime in the car rental or in the evening in the bar. So I run two businesses over here. I'm constantly chatting with tourists, seeing what's going on. I live in the middle of Los Cristianos, so right in the heart of all the tourist action. So I do keep an eye on things, see what's going on. I'm always trying to help you all out when you come over to Tenerife as well. So I'm going to be reading some of the articles from the Canarian Weekly newspaper over here. I will link them in the description, and also a couple from the UK reporters that, you know, you can let me know your thoughts on some of them. They do seem to get more and more clickbaity, but we'll see what you think about it. But for now, a big welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you are returning. We will start off by the general feeling across the island. End of November, what has it been like? It's extremely busy is what I'm going to say. Definitely busier than last year to this point. With the cars, I'm absolutely crazy. It was a little bit quieter than this last year. We're already fully booked for December, Christmas. So that is going to be a very busy time as well. This time last year, we still had about 50% of our cars left for Christmas, New Year. This year they are all gone, and we're turning down about 10 to 15 people a day looking for cars over Christmas, New Year. So if you're coming over this winter, expect it to be busy, especially Christmas, New Year. It always is, but in particular this year's looking extra nuts, which is good for us. But you're going to have to try and plan it a bit and book everything in advance. But the general feel across the place is fantastic. The bars are busy, the restaurants are busy, the beaches are busy, and in general the vibe is excellent, as you can expect from the UK's #1 holiday destination. The weather has been a bit of a sticking point this week. It's been very erratic. One minute it's raining a bit, then it's sunny, then it's overcast, then it's a bit of kalima, then it's a bit windy. It's been a real bit of a mixed bag, but in general we've had sunny spells like this and temperatures averaging about 27 degrees in the daytime, and then in the evening time it's dropping down to about 22 at the moment. So very nice and warm. A bit of a contrast to what you've all got back in the UK if you're watching from the UK. So that's the sort of general feel of Tenerife at the moment. What's going on? Very busy, definitely busier than last year in my opinion from what I've seen. Being round and about, definitely busier. Now, with it being so busy, of course, that has brought quite a few queues up at the airport. That includes your car rental. People waiting an hour and a half, 2 hours to get their rental cars. People tell me this every day. And also taxi queues. There is quite a bit of a queue going on for taxis. That has called for one of the hotels to speak on that unacceptable taxi queue at Tenerife South Airport, which are avoidable. So there's a bit of an article here about those taxi queues. You can expect a little bit of a wait if you're landing at peak times. Now, Ash Hotel have come out and said that they're very dissatisfied and think it's an unsustainable image that those taxi queues are still going on. It does say that it has been a long-standing issue that could easily be resolved compared to other airports. We're not operating as optimal as we can, in their opinion. The Hotel Association has suggested adopting practices from major hubs like Madrid, where a joint service area allows taxis from 54 municipalities to operate, ensuring consistent availability. What happens at the moment in Tenerife is only certain towns, municipals, only certain taxis from certain towns can pick up at the airport. You can be dropped off by any taxi district. You can get a taxi from here, Rona, Los Cristianos, and they'll drop you off. However, a taxi from certain areas, Arona I believe is one of them, cannot pick up at the airport. So that's what's happening. They are calling for changing those rules to allow any taxis to pick up. So as people are getting dropped off, they could carry on down to the end of the airport, pick people up, and just have a constant rotation of taxis. At the moment, it's reliant on a few municipalities that can pick up there. So the proposed solution is broadening taxi licenses that allows taxis from outside Granadilla de Abona to pick up passengers at the airport, removing the constantly tied licensing. Also, flow coordination, introduce a taxi flow coordinator to monitor and manage demand in real time. So that's going to be someone who's, you know, constantly telling the taxis what to do, where to go, which will improve efficiency. And also efficiency indicators, establish measurable indicators to guide decisions on expanding service areas, adjusting to supply and demand. So if you're landing this winter at a peak time, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, you might face a bit of a wait for a taxi. Don't forget, you can jump on that public bus, the number 40, the Airport Express, which is going to cost you about €3.40 to get to Los Cristianos. That carries on into Las Americas and Costa Rica. It's about €4 each, call it, to get into those main areas in the south. They will drop you off. The specially designed buses for all your luggage as well. Now, they are seeing big queues too, so don't expect to just jump on one of those. I've seen people waiting for 2 or 3 buses before they've managed to get on one, so bear that in mind too. But you can do contactless on those, just tap and go, or you can pay cash. Jump on the bus, you just tell them Los Cristianos or I'm getting off at Las Americas, and they'll charge you accordingly. Alternatively, car rental, those queues are quite big. If you do want to avoid those queues, Sanasti, you can look into that. That's my car rental company. We have a different system where the car is there waiting for you. You walk straight out to your car and off you go. But just expect a little bit of a wait. It is quite busy. Those passport control queues as well. Again, they've come under big scrutiny. Long waits to get through passports at certain times, 40 minutes to an hour. And so do expect a little bit of a wait. Do be patient when you land. Hopefully you will avoid them. They have got loads of new scanners. I saw them myself a few weeks ago, ready to go to speed up that passport control, but they're not quite in effect just yet. They're not quite operating, but hopefully we will see that improve. It's the first impression people get of the island is the airport, and in my opinion it should be spot on. We should be really trying to reduce those queues and everything. People's first impressions are very important, so hopefully we will see that reduce, but just expect a little bit of a wait. But in terms of the general airport itself, it's running quite well. It's just demand, very busy. UK's #1. I was watching flights landing the other day. I think it was on Sunday. I think it was Saturday or Sunday, and it was every 2 minutes there was a plane landing. Every 2 minutes. Now, you do that to any airport, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle with the demand. So full flights every 2 minutes on certain days. So it is extremely busy. Now, the other question that I do get quite a lot is what's going on with all the tourism protests? I see it on my live streams quite a lot. What's happening with them? Are they done? Are people still protesting? Are we still welcome? You are still 100% welcome here on the island. Everyone is having a fantastic time. The protests have all calmed right down. We haven't seen one for a good couple of months now. In terms of that, there is a little bit of an article here I wanted to mention. Business Association in the south of Tenerife joins Lanzarote Loves Tourism movement. So there is a movement over in Lanzarote, and their motto is all about loving tourists. They love it, they want it, and there is a few sections of Tenerife that have now joined that movement. It is expanding. They don't just promote tourism, they are working to achieve sustainable tourism. That is what it's all about. So they are working with the people who have protested. They see both sides of it, and they're trying to work on different strategies with the Cabildo to make sustainable tourism, but also to promote that message that we do love tourists. We don't want you to go home, and we do love you over here. So that is quite an important message. Although the name is in English, it is all connected with Canary Islands, Canarians, Spanish, who are all involved in it. So it did become very popular over in Lanzarote. A lot of Tenerife have now joined into that as well. So we're seeing some positive moves there. We've seen a few changes as well regarding tourism, trying to get that sustainable tourism involved. One of those is actually in the British newspapers. They did take this and they ran with it a little bit in terms of the headlines that it came with. British holidaymakers should be aware of new restrictions. Now that sounded really like, oh my word, what am I going to be restricted in? And that is just to do with enforcing a ban on tourist coaches in the Anaga Forest area. So that area of Anaga Forest, they are stopping and reducing coaches from 2025 to reduce the number of buses going up those roads and into the Anaga Forest. That doesn't mean you're not going to be able to do it in a car. You're not going to be able to you're still going to be able to walk around and explore and everything, but it is just to do with coaches. They're reducing that. Again, trying to bring in that sustainable tourism. The Anaga Forest is beautiful. We've seen similar over in Masca now as well. big reductions and a few restrictions going on in Masca. Visiting that area, again, trying to just reduce those numbers a little bit in terms of buses and things to make it a bit more sustainable. But yes, in general, all of that, you know, people on the beaches and marches and things like that, it is not going on at the moment. Everyone here is having a fantastic time. Believe it or not, just as I've started this update, it's actually started to rain a little bit above me here. I've got a few spots going on. I have to be careful with the phone. So I'm doing a bit of a bit of a rain update. This is what it's been like. 1 minute it's sunny, 28 degrees. Next minute we've got a little bit of a rain cloud over. This will be here for about 10 minutes and then the sun will be back. So a bit of a mixed bag this week, but overall very, very warm. Now, since we're on the topic of the British press, you can let me know what you think of this one. My mum actually sent me this, and it's in the Mirror. This was printed yesterday. Urgent warning to British tourists visiting popular holiday hotspot. The destination is popular among British visitors. Well, it is UK #1 during the Christmas period. But COVID, flu and respiratory viruses have risen sharply since August. Those headed to Tenerife and Lanzarote for winter sun are being urged to wear a mask in public areas and have vaccinations up to date before they jet off. Health chiefs have issued an urgent alert after a rise in deadly winter viruses on the Canary Islands. You can make of that let me know what you think of that down in the comments. What they're saying is specifically people with respiratory issues are advised to potentially wear a mask in those high-risk areas if you do suffer with really bad asthma and things like that. We are obviously going to see a rise in bugs and a bit of the flu and things, as we always do every winter, same as you do absolutely all over the world. The flu unfortunately rises in the winter time. 3 viruses which have combined are now hitting 794 people per 100,000. This figure in England is 60 per 100,000 according to government data. Mild symptoms are experienced by healthy younger people as well, but older Brits with health conditions and young children could contract a life-threatening illness. So that is what it says here in the Mirror. Let me know your thoughts on that. I do think if you maybe suffer with really bad asthma or those respiratory issues, just be very careful. Keep on with the old hand sanitizer and things. But again, that's a general thing that happens every single winter. Always seeing those numbers amplified by the fact it's an island. You can let me know down in the comments. But yeah, if you do suffer, you do catch things quite easily, just keep on it with your hand sanitizer. I'm not sure about the masks things, let me know. Again, this is all Anya Johannes, President of the Canary Islands Association of Primary Care Physicians. That's a bit of a mouthful, that one. Expected cases to rise further over the winter months. The illness peak happened mid-December 2023. And they're expecting the same again to peak during mid-December. So it was the same as last year. Just, you know, be careful, keep on with your hand sanitizer. And I always carry a little bottle around with me anyway. But that is one of the big headlines in the UK. Obviously, you can see quite a little bit of headline grabbing. They know Tenerife gets a lot of clicks, gets a lot of views. So do bear that in mind. Now, all the general advice, of course, is to try and book everything in advance. Now, Mum and Dad have just been over here with me for the last 17 days. We've been going out for breakfasts, lunches, dinners every single day, especially dinners. Every single night we would go out for a bite to eat. We'd go to the bars and different areas, Fania Bay, Costa Rica, Las Americas. Loads of those vlogs are on the channel, by the way. If you want to watch those, we've been doing loads of excursions as well, thanks to the Tenerife channel. So loads of excursions. One key thing to note with those is they are extremely busy. I touched on this earlier. You're going to need to try and book in advance your favourite restaurants, your buggy tours, your boat trips, whatever it is that you really fancy doing. Try and book it in advance. Have it booked in and secured. Make a bit of an itinerary in your phone. Have it saved. A lot of these places will just send the tickets straight to your phone. You've got it. You know what you're doing. You've got your tickets secured, because a lot of people are turning up to these excursions last minute. Like us, tried to go on the buggy tour for the last 2 weeks. We couldn't get on until very last minute the other day. It took 2 weeks. It was fully booked for 2 weeks. So if you fancy doing all of these different tours around, you've seen them all over TikTok, Instagram, etc. They're all fantastic. Make sure you book them in advance. Get that booking secured and you know that you're in. You can look forward to it, because there's so many people getting a bit disappointed. They go to try and do it and they don't realise it's booked for a week, 2 weeks in advance, especially certain ones. So do consider that. Of course, I'm still getting people coming in my office, calling me up, emailing me, Instagram, Facebook, the rental office with the apartments where I live. All of those do still tell me little bits of stories going on every single week with pickpockets and things, so do be very careful. I did a video on this last week. If you want to have a look at that, I'll link it in the description. But just be careful out in those busy areas, the market, the beaches, all of these little festivals and things going on. Be careful with your wallets, your purses, your bags. Unfortunately, we do attract a bit of a crowd in during the winter time, and they do target cars and a bit of pickpocketing, so do be very careful. Does happen all over the world, of course. New York at the moment, I believe, is having a few issues with pickpockets as well. So just be very careful, be alert, look after your stuff. A lot of people say, men, don't take wallets out with you, just take your cash, your cards and stuff. But I'm still hearing it every day. We've had 3 cars done in the last week. Drones, camera, and also a rucksack now. And they're very clever with what they do. They'll be up at the gorgeous viewpoints. The last one I had was Masca. Well, I've had 2 in Masca, but the very recent one was Masca with the rucksack. And they actually told me the story. They pulled up at one of the parking viewpoints. There was an elderly man helping them park, directing them in, helping them park. A young lad sat in the car that he was with. And then what they eventually did, the young lad pulled the handle on the car, on the back door, so the central locking wouldn't work. But thankfully, they were quite alert to it and stopped it. However, they did then go back, and the rucksack was already gone. They were already that quick. So they saw what they were doing, but weren't quite quick enough to realise that they'd already taken the bag out the back. So they're extremely quick, is what I want to make note of. And if they can't just do it that way with the handles and fooling you a little bit, they will smash the windows and stuff like that. So just look after your stuff, be very careful. Happens every single winter. Hopefully not too many of the cars will be damaged this year and not too many people will lose their stuff, but it's something to consider. Now, we touched on the Christmas. I've just mentioned Christmas and also festivals and things. We have got the gorgeous new magical Christmas market in the Canary Islands coming to Santa Cruz. So December, you might want to have a little trip up to this. I'm certainly hoping to film a little vlog. When December arrives, the Canary Islands transform into a festive wonderland, offering a unique blend of warm weather and holiday cheer. We're certainly seeing that around. Loads of Christmas decorations up already. Golden Mile, for example, all those gorgeous Christmas trees. Now the streets sparkle with dazzling lights, music fills the air, and magical atmosphere envelopes around every single corner. Now the Christmas market tradition, that is kicking in from December the 5th to the 8th during the long day bank holiday weekend. The eagerly awaited Christmas holiday weekend the Christmas holiday market, I should say, will take centre stage in the Canary Islands festive calendar. And that will be in Santa Cruz in Tenerife. We're going to see some gorgeous cabins, 30 beautiful decorated cabins. That's an increase from last year. We're going to see food trucks, wine trucks, beer trucks, sweet trucks, all kinds going on, gorgeous lights. And it is all inspired by the festive charm of London and New York as well. Visitors can enjoy the magical atmosphere with friends and family, creating some lovely memories. There's going to be a DJ on there, live bands, music, high energy and fun, shopping, festive delights, you name it, it's all happening. So 5th to the 8th of December, if you're here in Tenerife, mark it down in your calendar. You want to get up to Santa Cruz. Gorgeous to visit anyway, Santa Cruz. Bit more Madrid, Barcelona vibes, in my opinion. More of a built-up sort of city, but some gorgeous buildings. Now that is something you're going to want to go to. You can either jump on the bus, you can get the 111 straight to Santa Cruz for I think about €5 each, or take a car, rent a car, go up there. It is going to be really nice, that 5th to the 8th of December. Hoping to go myself, get the nice Christmas mood and Christmas feels going in. So, final thing to touch on is, of course, the weather forecast. You'll be looking at me, I'm stood in a little bit of rain. It is, you know, raining a little bit. There's some big spots going on. Now, we are going to see a little bit of the effects of the storm that you have had back in the UK. So, the Canary Islands are bracing for a set of impacts, the impact of Storm Bert, which you've all experienced. It is going to bring a little bit of a cold front with some cloudy skies, a bit of rainfall and some thunderstorms as well. So do be prepared for that. That's from Monday onwards. Sort of cloudy skies will dominate the north here in Tenerife. A little bit cooler going on as well. However, when I do look at the forecast on Apple, I normally do a little bit of a weather update each day on TikTok. When I look at the forecast on the Apple weather app, it doesn't look too bad at all. Steady 25 degrees all week. It is going to drop down a little bit on that Monday, Tuesday to 21. However, it does say that it's going to be sunny. So keep an eye on that. We are a small island. 1 minute it can say it's going to be raining. Next minute you open your phone, half an hour later it's changed and it's sunny. We are a small island. The weather can change quite quickly, but we are going to see a little bit of the outskirts of the storm you've all had back in the UK. So I hope that has helped you all out. If you've got any questions, do let me know down in the comments. Let me know about your thoughts on the Mirror article regarding the little bit of a virus that's flying around and things like that, potentially wearing masks. Let me know your thoughts on that. But I hope you have enjoyed it. If you're on your way over, you can look forward to an amazing time. It's buzzing. Just try and make sure you make those reservations in advance. There's a few restaurants we couldn't get into last week and a few excursions we couldn't get onto, so bear that in mind. But no, it's here waiting for you. If you're not booked to come over, have a look on Skyscanner. There's some great cheap flights available still over Christmas. You're looking at €100 return for over Christmas at the moment from certain airports, certain airlines, some good deals to be had. So have a little look, lastminute.com, booking.com. You can snag a little last minute bargain. So always have a little look every single week, every weekend, just pop on, have a little mooch at some dates because the prices are up and down. You might snag a little bit of a deal to be over here. UK's #1 and for a reason. So it is here waiting for you. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed the information, do please give a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe as well. Videos every single day from Tenerife, live streams, excursions, restaurants, you name it. We've got over 1,500 videos on the channel now, so do check those out. Thank you all very much. And of course, stride on to Tenerife.